In this installment, we're going to be going over the Thursday night football matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and Los Angeles Chargers. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for a Thursday night football matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and Los Angeles Chargers. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetChefD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. Right now at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 10.3 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 20K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right, now for this video here, before we get into that breakdown, the future for the Super Bowl will be posted on Thursday morning. All right, Thursday morning, hot and ready for you. Super Bowl future. If you sign up for the future tier, then you will get access to that. All right, that's going to be located in the link provided down below. You click on that, you're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. And I mean it, we really go through it 24/7. It's not just me, it's a community here, talking about plays, going over everything pretty much in here. Everyone's posting their plays, good ones, bad ones, and we move on to the next day. We have someone solid in here, Miggy Mac. Nice simple alternate spread parlay with 100% boost, that cash for 10 for 49. It's just little things like that. We got guys in here that go through slates 24/7. If I can't get to you, guys in here can definitely get to you and answer questions as well. So join the community, click on that link provided down below. You're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that you see right here down below. In SoFi Stadium here, we have the Los Angeles Chargers 4-3 going against the Minnesota Vikings 3-3. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here on Thursday, Chargers -3.5 on the spread, money line -185 on the money line, +150 with the comeback of the Vikings, and the total at 44.5. Looking at that public bet percentage here, we're kicking it off with the money line, 74% of the bets, 52% of the money coming in on the Chargers here. The sharps are slightly leaning towards Minnesota, as you see the discrepancy with the 47% of the sharp money on the Minnesota. For the total, 73% of the bets, 81% of the money towards the over 44.5. And for the spread, we have 56% of the bets, 50% of the money on Minnesota, +3.5. All right, so slightly leaning more to the spread with Minnesota, and then the public slightly leaning more to the Chargers here. Not slightly, definitely leaning more towards the Chargers on that money line. All right, interesting matchup in this one. Before we really break it down, looking at the injury report for the Chargers, we got positive news about Joe All Limited. We're gonna get confirmation later in the day on Thursday to see if he's gonna play. That would help them, and then Trey Pipkins as well to have a little bit more of a healthier offensive line. The only guy out for the Chargers will be Hassan Haskins. Kamani Vidal is going to be the #1 running back here for the LA Chargers. All right, in this particular game, everyone seems to be fine for them as well. All right, now for the Vikings, CJ Ham, fullback, he's going to be out. Andrew Van Ginkel is going to be out. That's 2 games in a row he's going to be out. We're waiting on news about Christian Darrisaw. He's questionable. Aaron Jones might give it a go in limited work. Obviously, JJ McCarthy is not going to play. Carson Wentz is the starter, and that's all for the Minnesota Vikings here. All right, now, like I said, interesting game between these two teams. Let me get this out the way here. The Chargers, as much as we've seen them, and they started out hot earlier in this season, we got a lot of question marks here. They are -3.5 point favorite, but they definitely falter in some situations. All right, against Indianapolis, they got dominated, getting ran all over in that game, barely squeaked by Miami. Then they get beat by Washington in the first game back with Jaden Daniels. And then they had a big letdown against the Giants. So we really saw a hot start with the in-division matchups for the Chargers, all right? In the first couple weeks, they looked strong. Ever since then, they've gone 1-3 in the last 4 games. All right, a lot of question marks there. Okay, Minnesota, couple rough spots here. Philadelphia, back and forth type of environment, but that Eagles team ultimately pulled away. They solid win against Cleveland. Then overseas, I can understand the loss against Pittsburgh. They bounced back against Cincinnati and dominated them, but then lost to Atlanta. Now, if you're looking at the stats here, it seems like the Chargers defense is strong, but like I said, they faltered the past 3 weeks. If you're just looking at it, allowing 38 to Indianapolis, allowing 27 in the first game back for Jaden, and then allowing Jackson Dart to play very well against them and get 21. These quarterbacks passed all over the Chargers. And in the last 3 weeks, they have allowed wide receivers to go over 90 yards 3 weeks in a row. And we're talking about a wide receiver core with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And you got Carson Wentz cooking. Right now, Carson Wentz, 300-yard passing games in the last 3 weeks. 350 against Pittsburgh, 313 against Philly. He had almost 300. He had 236 against Cleveland. That's very impressive against that defense with 102 QB rating. He played really strong in that game. All right. Yes, he does have a tendency to throw some interceptions, but he is not afraid to push the ball down the field. And you're looking at this team, and they really haven't got tested by a wide receiver core like the Minnesota Vikings. And I think they can take full advantage of that. This 8th passing yards allowed per game, 8th, that is a false number. And technically, they've been able to get ran on more, which has just been their Achilles heel. But now you can really pick apart this defense in both. All right, you can pass against them and you can run against them as well. We saw what Jonathan Taylor can do. Jordan Mason is capable of running the football, and this offensive line is definitely capable of running against this LA Chargers team. And I think that plus 3.5 is a little bit too much. All right, so I like Carson Wentz in this game to pass on the LA Chargers. I like Justin Jefferson. I like Jordan Addison. I like TJ Hawkinson. There's no holes in that pass game right there. And I think Carson Wentz is getting in a little bit of a groove here as they continue to go towards him. J.J. McCarthy is not ready. And I think the best number here is the spread, Vikings plus 3.5. All right. So number one play here, Vikings keep this close in a nice range here against this Chargers defense that has faltered. At least if I'm looking at the underside with the Vikings defense, I get it what the Eagles did against the Vikings, but that's the world champions right here. All right. Justin Herbert has a lot to prove. He definitely has weapons to definitely combat this, but Brian Flores will be able to create some issues here for Justin Herbert, and he does have a propensity when getting blitzed to have some trouble here. All right, so I'm going to be relying on Minnesota Vikings defense, which is better than the Chargers defense in this one here. And I like Carson Wentz to pick apart a false defense in the Chargers. Like I said, if you really look at the numbers, you got a big cause of concern here with this Chargers defense, and that's coming all the way from the end of September. It's been the last 4 weeks where we got a big question marks, and they allowed Miami to have a big game, and they barely squeaked by in that one. All right, so plus 3.5 Minnesota Vikings, and then for the total, give me as a secondary play over 44.5. I think the Vikings are going to be able to put up some points and force the Chargers in a little bit of a catch-up mode and get away from the run game. All right, so that's going to be our breakdown for the Thursday night football slate. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or disagree. We could definitely debate about that down below. Also, get signed up for the Patreon so you can have access to the future bets. And remember, you click on that link, you're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.